Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast YouTube channel for Premier League predictions. No Scottish, English Premier League predictions this time. Obviously, the league starting Saturday. Excited to see what's going on. Full stadiums, obviously, back in England as well. We do these, or we're going to try and do these every year. We're doing podcasts and stuff like that because your man over there, Lewis, a Leeds fan. I'm a Liverpool fan, so we both have ties towards the English Premier League. I know a lot of people just focus about Rangers and that. The Rangers content is coming. We're going to do a podcast after the Malmo game, speak about the Dundee United stuff and that. So that'll be out tomorrow, Wednesday. This is just getting recorded on Tuesday. This one should be out Thursday. So the Rangers one will be first, but we'll do this one now. English Premier League predictions. And as always, if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, share about with all your pals, that'd be great. So 20 spaces to take up here. Are we going to skim through the relegation zone, or you want to go into detail?
I think we save the detail for maybe a bit further up, mate. But if you want to talk me, if you want to get straight into it, I'll
on you go.
I've got Watford rock bottom. They're going to sack their manager probably 3-4 games into the season. But there's nothing. What else do you expect for Watford with that? I know they've got a couple of decent players. Is the boy, what's it, Sarr or something?
Aye, Ismail Sarr's a good player, aye.
So, but I've got Watford 20th, mate.
Aye, I don't think they'll be far off. To be honest, I'm looking at their side now. They've still got Tom Cleverley and their team, Troy Deeney. They've signed Josh King on a free. Isaac Success. They've got so many strikers at the club, man. Jesus Christ, they've got about 15 strikers here. Ismail Sarr, probably their best player. And then the business have made so far, they've brought in Kuchka for Parma, Table for Stoke, Dennis for Club Brugge, Danny Rose for Spurs, obviously. But I think they'll struggle this year. We've been back in the league.
Just think with the management, this guy, I think this is his first proper actual management full-on job.
Mm-hmm.
I think he managed them. What was it, Gibraltar? I don't know if it was
really, aye.
Something like that. I don't know if it was or not. Don't quote me on that. But aye, so I just think they're going to struggle. He'll probably be sacked before Christmas. But
aye. My rock bottom table is Norwich. Norwich again, similar to Watford. Every time they come up, they end up getting relegated back down again. They were in the league 2 seasons ago now, was it? Team of Pookie's sort of breakout season and stuff like that. I don't really see Norwich offering a lot, to be honest. Billy Gilmore, obviously, he'll improve them. I'd love to see him get a lot of game time in the Prem. Obviously, there's got Kenny McLean, Pookie and stuff like that. Todd Cantwell, I don't really see the hype in that guy, but as it is, they've brought in Milot Rashica as well for Werder Bremen, I think it was. So the Max Aarons is still there and stuff like that. They've got a decent enough side on paper, but they just never seem to be able to do it at the Prem for whatever reason. So Norwich are bottom for me.
Fair play. 19th, I've gone with Southampton. I think Southampton are going down next season. I just think with the squad depth, mate, I don't think they've got enough there to stay up. I think they're probably their best players, probably Ward-Prowse.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of top clubs looking at maybe bringing him in. I don't think they've been flirting with it. I think last season they seemed to dip off. I think they had a great sort of position, almost getting into European sort of kind of places, but then they just fell off. So I've just got them finishing the relegation zone this season.
You're right. They did flirt with it a bit last season. They had moments where you could say they're going to possibly have a decent season by Southampton's terms, but they always seem to just fall off. And then looking at their team now, they've lost Danny Ings, obviously, which is massive for them. That's their talisman up front. Leaves them with Che Adams and El Yunusi up front at the moment. So James Ward-Prowse, obviously a great player. Stuart Armstrong's decent enough. Walcott, Walker Peters, Stevens, Vestergaard, Fraser Foster and goals. So they've got a decent team, but I think that Ings departure is going to hurt them. They're bringing in Armstrong for Blackburn, I think, as well for 20 million. So that's the replacement for him. Will it work out in the same way the way Ings did? I don't know. I think they'll be they'll be down there, definitely. My 19th position then is Newcastle. I think Newcastle are going to go down this season. Again, similar to Southampton, like, they've just been flirting with it all the time. Like, they're always down that end of the table. If you look at like series for the Premier League or something, they just don't seem to ever win games. But obviously they do. Like, it just seems like they lose every week, but they stay up. Steve Bruce obviously still there. They're signing Willock for Arsenal for 25 million, so that's going to be big for them. He had a massive loan campaign there. But just looking at their side, it's just been the same sort of team for years and years. Obviously, the Longstaffs in midfield, Callum Wilson, Gale. It's St. Maximin's a good player. Will Joe Linton ever be that striker for them? I don't know. Dubravka and goal. They've got, again, similar to like your Norwiches and that, they've got a good core squad there, but I feel like it's the time for them to go down. True Geordie will only be happy with that one, but I've got a feeling Newcastle are going to be right down there. So 19th, and I may as well just say my 18th team are Watford as well.
Watford, fair play now. I honestly, I'll get on to Newcastle when I've got them, but for me, 18th, I hope it is the season. I hope Burnley are going down. Nobody can do it at Burnley, man. See, when you look at the fixtures, it's a bit like when we would play Hamilton, you're like, oh, fuck off, man.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Obviously, they've got the takeover happened for them, and Sean Bruce's, whatever, Sean Bruce, who the fuck am I?
Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche, mate. His contract's coming to an end at the end of the season, I think, or something. So I don't know what happened with that, but I just hope they get down. To be honest with you, as I say, it's like when we would play Hamilton, you'd be like, fuck off. You don't want to play away against them, which
no,
that's a positive that teams might feel like that going there. But more than often it's not, because they end up getting beat. So I just think this season they're going down.
Nah, again, looking at their transfer activity and all, non-existent. They've brought in Wayne Hennessy. That's their only signing this season so far. And Collins as well, actually, for Stoke, 20-year-old. But they two are their only two signings, and they've not had any outgoings or stuff like that. They just keep the same squad there. It always seems to work out in their favour. But again, I had them down there last season. Never happened. It could be this season. You might be onto one. 17th, though, I went with Brentford. New boys to the division. I think they've got a good few players there. Obviously, Christopher Ayer, we know, joined them earlier on the window. Frank Onyeka for Midtjylland joined them. Winston Reid joined them as well, apparently. But I don't know. I think they'll struggle. They've got, as I said, decent players there. Even Tony, it's going to be up to him now. Can he cut it in the Premier League like he did in the Championship? Or is he always going to be that like Championship striker, sort of like Dwight Gale was when he goes in the Championship? He bags a lot of goals, but I'm looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League. But I just don't think their team is strong enough to push any further. I think it could be relegation for them. I think they'll be sort of fighting with the rest. But I think they just might nick it. So they're 17th for me. I've
got them 17th as well, mate. I think they're a club that have obviously done that Moneyball sort of thing. Obviously, we know all about him. And Ivan Tovey is going to be the main man for him. But if he does go down with an injury, then it could be tough for him, because I don't think they have enough forward like that. But I do think they'll stay up this season. And that's why I've got them 17th. I was going to 16th, then I've got Brighton. They've just consistently sort of finished in this kind of position, so lost right as well. They've got some good players, but I just see them giving. You know what I mean? Like, everyone last season was like, oh, they're a good side, they play good with the ball, but they don't put the ball in the back of the net. So
that's the biggest problem. Like, Graham Potter is a decent manager, like, but they're not doing anything. Like, Danny Welbeck is their main striker, I think. Neil Mopey as well. Like, Trossard's a decent player. Bissouma's obviously a cracking player. Lallana, Lamptey, Veltman, Dunk, Shane Duffy. Obviously, they've got a good enough squad there, but again, they just don't seem to find the goals or the consistency any season ever. And Graham Potter's a good manager as well, but Brighton down there for you.
No, absolutely, mate.
My 16th is Southampton. We obviously talked about them previously. I've got them down there. similar reasons to yourself. And then 15th again is Brighton for me. Always just sort of down that end of the table. Can he ever get consistency, as we said? We'll see who, if they bring in MD, obviously the loss of Ben White's a big one. Will they use that money to reinvest in the squad? Who knows? But they're 15th for me.
15th, Jack. I'm going to be a wee surprise here. I think I'm going to go with Norwich.
Norwich, really?
I'm going with Norwich. I'll tell you why. They've had the experience of being in the league and obviously been canned out of the league. I just feel like maybe they'll hang me. I know you don't rate, what's his name? Tom Campbell or whatever his name is. What's his name?
Cantwell. Todd, I think his name is.
He is a good player, mate. I think they weren't ready for the Premier League when they were in it last time. Now that they're coming in here, I feel like they're players that are ready enough to be in this league. He was linked with Leeds, so who knows? But I'm going to put Norwich there. I'm going to throw them a wee bone.
Not bad. We'll see what happens with Norwich, but I just can't see any way for them staying up. But we will see. My 14th then is Burnley. We talked about Burnley. Same reasons as yourself. But I think they might have a better campaign. I don't know. It's because I put them in relegation last season, and I'm just like, right, I'll put them up a wee bit further now, then they'll probably get relegated this year. So Burnley are 14th for me.
Tactics for you there, Jack.
Tactics indeed.
I've went with Newcastle.
Newcastle.
I don't think they'll get relegated. I just think it's a shame they're stuck with Steve Bruce. That miserable bastard continues to manage in this league. Honestly, I think they've got what a fan base they've got, and that takeover should have happened. And you think about if it did happen, they would definitely be in the European positions challenging. But I just think they're 15th. They'll lose a bunch of games, but they'll also shock team beat Leicester or Man United. You know, they'll be that kind of team. So I think they'll finish there, mate. Constantly
Underperforming though.
Absolutely.
Newcastle, and I always say I feel sorry for their fans because we get great fan base. They deserve to be up the same sort of end of the table as Leicester and stuff like that these days. In my opinion, if they had the investment and the right manager there, they would be about there. So, I'm on 13th now.
Yeah, I think so.
13th position is Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira, obviously, new manager. They've made a couple of decent signings. Conor Gallagher, who was on loan at West Brom for Chelsea last season. Joachim Anderson, who was at Fulham. They've signed him for a good fee, 15 million for Lyon. James McCarthy, Sacco, all leaving the club, but I don't think they've lost anything that's sort of detrimental to them. Wilfried Zaha is still at the club, and it seems like he's just going to be there forever now because he had his chance a few seasons ago, I think, to move away. But he's now 28, going into his 29. Like he's going past his prime now, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Benteke's obviously still there. Easy's still there. Really good player. Milivojevic is our captain, of course. But I think, Patrick Vieira's first season, I think he might do bits with this Crystal Palace squad, and it's still the window's still open, I believe, in England as well. So still time to get bodies in that, but they look like they've got a decent enough squad. Anyway, I mean, Palace are always sort of around there, aren't they? So I've put Palace 13th.
I could understand why you've done that. I've put them 12th. I do think they'll have a decent season. It'll be nice to see what Patrick can do. Obviously, he'll probably have an eye on another job in the Premiership if he does impress. So who knows? I've always thought they had a decent side. And hope I've put them 12, but 13 for me is Wolves. I just feel like they'll finish there, mate. To be honest with you, I don't know what it is with Wolves. I think they still have a really good team, but
they underperformed last year quite a lot.
They did, and I thought Nuno and that he was unlucky not to get criticised and potentially maybe lose his job compared to where they were maybe the last couple of seasons. But boy they've brought in now, I think he was manager at Benfica. So who knows where they'll finish? But I think them and Palace will be 13th and 12th for me.
I've got Wolves at 12 as well. 12th as well. They finished 13th last season, so round about the same area for them. Lost their goalkeeper, of course, after the Euros. Rui Patricio. It's quite a big loss for them.
Is that a big loss for them? Honestly, I think he's a bang average keeper. I don't see the hang with him, man.
I know. I thought he was a really decent keeper for them. I always thought he was all right.
Nah, man.
I can understand maybe the reason why you think that. But I thought he was always all right. And then they've brought in Trincao for Barcelona on loan. That's going to be exciting to see him in the Premier League. We've seen him play against Rangers, of course.
Exactly. I was about to say, mate, so we know about him. Can't really remember him doing anything against Rangers, but
no, he had a few decent moments in the games against us. Looked like a tricky player. That was obviously before he joined Barcelona. We'll see what he can do in the Premier League, but they've still got a good team. Wolves, I love Pedro Neto. He's a really good player to watch. And Adama Traore, Raul Jimenez will be back for his injury as well. It's good to see. They've still got Neves, Moutinho, and stuff like that. They've still got a good side. But they just have John Ruddy as their goalkeeper at the moment, so they'll need to dip into that department. But I think Wolves down there, new managers first season. 12th.
well, at 11th, I've got Mr. Rafa Benitez. I think Mr. Rafa's ever.
So they are, by the way. So
the money they have spent is ridiculous, man, and they've done nothing with the amount of money they've spent.
Aye.
I mean, you can see players like James feel a bit betrayed by Carlo just to get up and leave and go to Real Madrid. I don't know why he would really go there. But honestly, I just think Everton, still think Calvert-Lewin and that, there's still some good players at the club. Fan base is another good fan base as well, by the way. It's no just thing with them. I don't think they'll get a great support. But I just think they'll finish there, man. I can't see Rafa taking them into Europe. Maybe he does, but with the teams that are above them, I just don't see them finishing.
I know, that's the big thing for me. I'm looking at the teams that are above them, and that's just the reasonable position to put Everton at. Obviously, they've got a good team. They had a massive transfer window last year, and everybody expected them to do big things, but it just never worked out. And if you can't do anything with Carlo Ancelotti as your manager in the Premier League, I mean, I don't really hold any hope for Benitez, to be honest. I don't know if he'll do much.
I don't think Carlo Ancelotti knows his thing with his anymore. I don't think he, to be honest with you, I don't think he really cares anymore. I think he just cares about smoking the fag and, aye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everton should have really went for somebody that matches their ambition. They should really be going for someone. Maybe Rafa might do better. Honestly, maybe Rafa might do better. Also, it's going to hurt you a little bit more if he does do better.
Aye.
My man, so.
But again, looking at the Everton team now, like Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, they've brought in Damari Gray, James Rodriguez is still there, Tom Davies, Andre Gomez, Doucouré, Allen,
got a good team, mate.
Ben Godfrey. Like, they've got a lot of good names in there. It's just, obviously, I like seeing them underachieving every season, but Everton should be doing far more with what they've got available to them. That's a really good squad they've got there, but I just don't see much happening. And also, Moise Keane is back at Everton after his loan spell at PSG as well, so I don't know if he'll be sticking around or not, but that could be a one to look at as well, because I rate him as well. Anywhere he's went, apart from Everton, he's done well. So, Everton 11th for the both of us then.
Absolutely, mate.
Into the top 10 then. 10th position for me is West Ham. The top 10 is so fucking hard to pick. It's like, I was switching about every day this morning before we were doing this, and West Ham at 10th is where I've ended up. Obviously, they had a fantastic season last year. Don't think they expected it, me included, because last year I had them getting relegated when we done this. So, that was interesting. But they've got a good squad. Areola's came in for PSG now, and goals, and they've got Declan Rice obviously done well at the Euros. Souček had a good season. Antonio, Benrahma, Bowen, good side there. But I just feel that, don't know if it was a fluke last season. We'll see. They've got European football to contend with now as well, so will they be able to manage that workload? I don't know. But I've put them 10th because I just feel that the other teams above them are just that wee bit better. But they proved me wrong last year. We'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens with West Ham. Indeed, I've put them 9th, but I'll go to my 10th team now, and I've went with my boys, the mighty Leeds. I've put us 10th, mate. I'm just hoping for a positive season again. Obviously, with the fans back, it's going to be absolutely thunder. at that Ellen Road, mate. I'm telling you, when teams play there now, I'm hoping it's a bit of a bomb scare for some of them. But when those fans get on your back, mate, you'll know all about it. I'm just hoping for a positive season. Listen, the main goal last season for me was just to stay in the league. This season for me, yet again, I think it's just progress, stay in the league. But I just think Europe, with the quality some of the other teams in the league have, I think it might be a bit of a far reach for us this season. I'm just hoping the new left back that came from Barcelona, seems like a decent player. I'm happy with the fact that we use sort of our B team and our first team is all the same sort of kind of one squad. So I love that. I'm hoping my boy Patrick can fire again. Obviously, he was doubted last season. Let's see, he's all back him, and then when he maybe doesn't score for a couple of games, you will turn on him. But I'll keep backing my boy Rafinha. I'm hoping for another positive season from the lad. And your Liverpool can keep your hands off him because he's going nowhere unless you get the big bucks to pay.
That's all right. Our board won't spend money. It's fine.
Well, but there's a lot of positives to look at with us. I'm happy that someone like Patrick Strauch, he came in and sort of wasn't maybe in people's sort of vision to start, but for me, him and Llorente have got to be the two main centre halves for us. I think their partnership's fantastic. My boy Calvin, he'll do bits again. You know he will. And Jack Harrison signed on a permanent deal, so I'm really happy with that. I thought Harrison's been a fantastic player for us. But I just feel like we'll finish 10th, mate. I really think it's a positive finish for us. I know some fans might want to be pushing for Europe positions, but I just think give it a couple of seasons for us, maybe, finishing in that sort of top 10 half, and then we can hang. I don't want to play conference, if I'm honest with you, Jack. That's the reason why I'd have us finishing 10th. I don't want to play Conference League, man. I'm not playing farmers. You understand? This ain't Hibs, Aberdeen. I'm not happy playing farmers teams. But I'm just hoping for another positive season under Marcelo Bielsa, man who's guided us to where we are. And I'm actually happy because this time, mate, I'll be able to actually watch some Leeds games with my granddad again. So I'm positive with that. My man's coming up to see us, and I'm positive I'll get to watch it. Just hope the United game is. Let's hope it's a good start. I'll take.
I know it's a tough start, Man United.
As long as it's not 6-2 again, we'll be all good. But 10's for us. I think it's a happy, positive finish for us.
No, I've got you at 9th actually, just above 10th position. But I think it'll be tight between West Ham and Leeds. I think the teams around about sort of 6th to 10th position could end up anywhere. In my opinion, it's that hard to pick. But as you said, Junior Firpo for Barcelona, Harrison on a permanent, Bamford's still there, Rafinha's still there. Your two centre halves, more than me. What's the deal with Robin Koch as well? I thought he was maybe like a starter.
Yeah, so he's sort of he obviously plays centre half, but a bit like Phillips. Anyone in the Leeds squad has to be versatile in playing. They can't just play one position. They've got to be able to play 1, 2, maybe 3 positions. So he'll sort of play just where Calvin plays, just in front of the defence. Sometimes if Calvin's injured, or he'll play in the back. Maybe it might be a back three, and then obviously thingy. But I have to give you a proper shout out to the hardest workers in the room. The Rock talks about this all the time. I'm talking about my man Luke Ayling and Stewie Dallas. My boy that got the winner against City. But just they boys were just phenomenal, man. That's what I'm on about. Bielsa turns players that maybe you'd look at and go, they're nowhere near Premier League players, and he believes in them, and then you end up just believing in them yourselves. You know what I mean? And they go on and they just perform and show you that they are capable. I actually thought, I know it might sound a bit daft saying it, but I actually thought Luke Ayling was unlucky. Maybe not to just get a wee call up for England, just to be in that squad, to be a part of it. Obviously, the quality that's there, your boy Trent and that, I can understand why. But my boy Patrick Bamford should have been there in the Euros, but it's past tense. I'm just he gets a chance to prove himself at that level as well, because he deserves it, man. He's a top pro.
Well, I think there's good things coming the way for Leeds. I don't think they're just going to slow down and fall off a cliff after last season. I still feel Leeds are going to progress and be better this season. So I'm looking forward. I'm excited to watch Leeds. I think everybody that watches football is excited to watch Leeds. So I'm excited by them. I
just know that some people are going to be talking about the second season syndrome and all this kind of part of, but I don't know, man. I can't see us finishing below some of the teams we've listed. I just think we've got some fantastic quality and we just play beautiful football, man. You're guaranteed, as you say, it's entertainment. It's the same when you're watching any big sort of fighter. You're watching say somebody like a Joshua or a Fury, you're watching because you know you're going to be entertained. We always are guaranteed a game of football. So
No, definitely. And then on a ninth for you.
I said West Ham, mate. I just
You
think they
said
might,
West Ham, aye.
because of European football, it might be difficult for them to manage. That's my sort of position for them.
And then eighth position, then I've got the Gunners. I've got Arsenal. Down there again. I just don't think Mikel Arteta is the guy to lead them forward. Obviously they've brought in what's his name? Ben White for a big fee. Nuno Tavares has came in. But I still feel their defence is a bit lacking. Hector Bellerin could be away. Xhaka, I heard he was going away at the very start of the window, but nothing's ever materialised for there. Lucas Torreira's obviously back for Atletico Madrid. Smith Rowe signed a new contract. Aubameyang, stuff like that. Bukayo Saka and stuff like that. They've got a good team, but just the same old story with Arsenal. They always sort of underachieve, and I just don't feel Arteta's the guy to get the best out of the squad that's there. In my opinion, I feel they're going to be around that position again, so I've got them at 8th.
No, fair play. I could see why you would have them at 8th. For me, I went for Villa. I went for Aston Villa. I think the signings they've made were just fantastic. I know the fans might be upset with Jack Grealish leaving, but I think you can understand his reasoning for wanting to go to Man City. And I do think Villa are now a European challenging sort of kind of side for me. I do think they've got the potential to be anyway. The players they've got, fantastic. I look at someone like Douglas Luiz, that was at Man City and then obviously came to them. He was at the Olympics there. So I think he's a top player. You've got John McGinn as well, we know all about. And obviously hangman goals, Martinez, who I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you're probably kicking yourself he left the club. What a goalkeeper he is, man. I just think they've got a real positive team, and I do think they could finish 8th, but they'll probably be playing Conference League, won't you? So maybe they want to finish 8th.
I know, that's a problem now. I don't think anybody really wants to play in that competition.
Give that competition to the Championship or something. You know, who wants to play in that competition? Seriously, there's nothing in it. Honestly, Hibs are Aberdeen. I know they're in it, and they'll probably be happy with that. But you're looking at these kind of teams and the money they spend and all that. Surely they'd want another spot in Europa League. There's no chance you want to be playing this Conference League.
I know.
You're going to be playing teams where there's a football park where there's a train going past you. That, do you know what I mean? I don't find that appealing at all. But I've got Villa there.
Villa. My seventh position then is Spurs. Again, you've got them there as well. Aye. Similar to sort of last season, like Spurs were in the same category as Everton, where they made so many good signings, and you were like, right, they're going to push now. They're going to try and win the league, and then they beat Man United 6-0 or 6-1 or something at Old Trafford, and you were thinking they look really good. But a lot has went on at Spurs. Mourinho's obviously got sacked. Nuno's came in. They've made a good few signings, right enough, like Christian Romero for Atlanta. And at defence, obviously, a replacement for Toby Alderweireld, who just randomly vanished away to like Dubai or something like that. So he's away. Brian Gill from Sevilla, you'll know more about him than I do. I don't watch the Liga, so that could be an interesting signing for them, replacing Lamela. Still get Hugo Lloris, stuff like that there. The defence is a bit thin, in my opinion, even with that signing. And it will be interesting to see what happens with Harry Kane. Obviously, Heung-min Son has dedicated his next 4 or 5 years to Spurs, so is Harry Kane still going to be pushing for that move away? Is it going to happen? Who knows? But Spurs, again, they could overachieve, but with Nuno's first season with the squad, I feel like maybe even a cup run or something for him, finally win a trophy, could be something that Spurs could be looking at, but I just don't see them any better than, I think 5, 6 and 7 actually will be tight, but I feel like the other two will just be ahead of Spurs, so I've got them there. What's your thoughts on, obviously you've got Spurs there as well?
I've got Spurs there as well, mate. As I say, depending on that Harry Kane situation, what's going on, obviously it's a bit of a chase right now between him and Daniel Levy. I'll be honest with you, I don't see the move happening. I don't think he's going to go. I think he'll keep him for the season and then he might send him abroad. He did the same thing to Gareth Bale. No, Luka Modric, sorry. With Chelsea went to sign Luka Modric and then they let him go to Real Madrid. It might be a situation like that, but who knows? I do think they have a decent enough team to be finishing in the European spots, but who knows with him? I hope Song has in his contract a release clause, because you're stupid, Harry Kane, if you've not got a release clause in your contract to get you out of that situation. You know the kind of owner he is. He's not going to just roll over on a gentleman's agreement. It's not the 1960s anymore, pal. So I've got him finishing there. It depends, honestly, what happens with the Harry Kane situation for me. I know they've brought some more boys in. It's just, you've listed them off there, who seem like decent enough players. Atlanta, who have been, seems like fantastic in the Italian league. So who goes with them? We don't know. Who knows? It's just the unknown with him. Obviously, my boy Jose Mourinho lost his job. He's with Roma. He could potentially do well with Roma and win trophies. The thing with Spurs is, like, you've noticed players have left and then they've gone on to win trophies. It'd be funny if Mourinho goes on, wins Europa League or something.
No. It definitely would be.
Yeah, hilarious for me, but I've got M7. 6 for me. I've went with the Gunners. I've went with Arsenal finishing 6. I know you've listed off, you don't think Arteta's the man, but I just think with some of the, with the squad they've got, it seems like you've got some young, hungry players in there. My boy Ben White, who is going to massively improve them. Obviously, Kieran Tierney, we know all about. They've also that boy you listed off of Benfica.
Does he know like Tavares scored against Rangers?
Does he know like dogs licking his mouth or something like that? If you
what?
No, yeah, I do see him.
What?
I'll send you them. I don't honestly.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Honestly,
I'm telling you, right? But Aubameyang seems like he's going downhill a bit for me. I don't know what the situation is, but it seems like he's just took the money and thought, I'll chill here.
Aye.
But I think Arsenal will be in the sort of 6th to 9th position, sort of there, and that's what I'm saying. I think they could be looking at.
Poppy agrees.
Hey, she wants a kiss off for that Tavera or whatever his name is.
No, but the postman has came, so there'll be a bit of barking in the background.
It's all right, man. Doesn't matter to me. But anyway, but I think if Patrice does well with Palace, I think they could be looking at a situation where maybe he goes in. I think he's definitely eyeing that job, but it's all on Mika to impress this season, or else I could see him on the chopping block.
Aye, I think he could get sacked, because
that's my thing. Like, he should, maybe last season when you look at some of the runs he went on, fans were clearly wanting him to go. But then it just looks like the board are like, you know what, now we're going to stick with this guy, the project, the program, seeing the long-term vision. But I don't see it with him. I don't see him managing. I don't think he should have took the job, to be honest with you. I think they've went for the wrong man there.
So they are. I think Arsenal have completely fucked that whole situation up. I just don't believe in Arteta, to be honest.
For me, the disrespect that they've shown us and Wenger for so long, like, obviously, maybe somebody's staying over the ring, but look at the job he did, man. And then you look at good evening, going on and just won Europa again. So, chance to win the Super League tomorrow as well. So, who knows? Not the Super League, the Cup.
The Super Cup.
Aye. So, who knows?
Yeah, Arsenal, I think, will be lower down than you've had them. But again, as I said, it's hard to pick, so they could end up anywhere. My 6th position is Leicester. I think they finished 6th last season as well. No, they finished 5th last season. So one less than last season. They've made good business, obviously, bringing in Daka, Soumare, Bertrand on a free. They've obviously got their first piece of silverware this season as well, with the Community Shield at the weekend there. So it's off to good starts for them. Brendan Rodgers, although we don't dislike the guy for what he done in Scotland, like, what a football manager he is. And he's turned out to be with Leicester. He's built this team into something really strong, and they're consistently always up there nowadays. So amazing job he's done. And I just feel like they've got a really good side to be competing again. They've added in the right areas, but maybe the injury to Wesley Fofana, he's going to be out until next year now, is going to be a big one. It's sad for him, but I still feel they'll have a pretty good season, Leicester, so I've got them 6th.
Well, I've got them 5th, mate. I've got Leicester at 5th for me. I think, you've listed off, obviously, when Brendan came up here, it was like, all right, okay, that's the manager they've brought in. Obviously, we get Stevie G in, but no, I think he's still a good manager. I don't think he's as bad as some people maybe try and make him out to be. I think he's a really decent manager. I think he has added to that squad that was already fantastic. The boy that signed for Lille that just won the league, I forgot his name. He'll be a player. Watch him. He's a real good player. And I just think the quality they have as well. If somebody like Jamie Vardy's still going for him, potentially could be up there for top goal scorer this season again. But I think fifth position for Leicester, and as you say, they're winning trophies now. They're going on cup runs. They're doing well, which is nice to see a club like Leicester. I don't think anybody out there could dislike a team like Leicester. I think Leicester are such a lovely club, man. The way they run and everything like that, like wow, that's how you run a football club. The way the owners have run that club, and I've got nothing but respect for the way they've run the club. So I think fifth position for them, but the team's obviously the quality above them, as I keep saying. It's just, I think that's a fantastic finish for them.
Aye. And I think the biggest curveball I'm throwing, the full hang here, I could be wrong, like I was with Everton last year, but I think Aston Villa are going to finish here. Right, big statement, but that signing, that departure of Grealish could just push them on. Now they've got nothing holding them back anymore. The quality of players are brought in as well, like Danny Ings, like as we just spoke about with Southampton earlier on, bags goals. Leon Bailey for Leverkusen, like what a signing that is. He was nearly at Chelsea a few seasons ago. Ashley Young, obviously backing a free. Emiliano Buendia as well, cracking player. Axel Tuanzebe for Man United. Like, I just don't see any way they don't finish. Maybe no fifth for a lot of people, but quite high up in the European spots. I feel like they've got a really good side there. Emiliano Martinez, as you said when you were speaking about them as well, what a cracking keeper he is. Ezri Konsa, Matty Cash, Mings, like I've got a really good squad. Ollie Watkins, Wesley, like they've got a good team, like a really good team. And I feel that a couple of seasons ago when they were fighting out with Leeds and the championship, to see how far these two teams have now came is quite big.
Well, my thing for you is, are you playing career mode or are we in real life? Because I could see them doing well, but
I think Villa are going to really perform this season.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really rate their manager. I think I know he's a Villa fan and that, but let's be honest, that Sheffield game where they should have been down or what have you. It's amazing how luck goes and all that, you know. But I'm no disagreeing with you. I think they have a fantastic team. For me, it depends on if Danny Ings doesn't take a big injury this season.
Yeah,
because what a striker he is in this league, and I mean, for Liverpool to let him go, and when he went to Southampton and all that, I think people were questioning, all right, is he just going to be one of the hanging players? But he's kicked on and he's shown he is still a top striker. And also Watkins as well, they've got him as well, so with the backup there. So I don't think it is as daft as you said it is, mate, to be honest with you. I do think they're a decent team. As I say, anyone for 5th, for 10th for me can finish in anywhere in those positions. It's the same all over the league. It's such a hard league now, like because of the money that's in it. But no, that is a good shout. But just for me, I don't know if the manager's that good.
Maybe that's the manager that could hold them back for achieving big things with the squad he's got. I don't know, but it'll, as you said, it'll be interesting to see where Villa go, because I'm expecting big things for them now.
I'm expecting big things for them as well. I really do. I agree with you. I think a cup run for them or something like that would be fantastic. I know a lot of fans maybe be like, "Oh, Jack, you could have been here and you could have been winning this and that." No, you, Jack. I'm on about Jack, the Grealish boy. But like, I know they might be saying, "Oh, you could be here and you could be winning trophies, challenging for Europe," but that move to me just makes sense for him. I don't think he's 100 million worth. I don't think he's that kind of player. That kind of money you're paying for top quality. He is quality. He is, for me, he's better than Raheem Sterling. I think he is 100%, but I just don't think he's worth 100 million. You know what I mean? 75 or something like that.
No,
it's crazy talking this kind of money, but we're talking in the context of football, obviously. But I'll go into my 4th team for you, buddy, and I've got you and Stevie G's lot. I've got Liverpool finishing 4th. I just, you haven't signed MD, man, and I know you've signed that centre half, but I don't know. I'm hoping you can do it now. I know the big asset is obviously the same as sort of kind of like Leeds, is your fan base is back now, and I'm hoping you can at least do something, man. I hate when people just want to criticise Klopp and say whatever about him and stuff like that, and about the team. I just really think like Mo Salah has been so underappreciated by so many fans of the Premiership. Maybe I'm talking nonsense with that, but I just think Salah He's been so good for you. And if you were on to lose Em out that front three for me, it'd be something like Manny. I
No.
don't really see it with him. But fourth position, I can see you finishing there, to be honest with you. I don't know if he's might going around Champions League or that, who knows. But I think there's a lot of people this season maybe doubting Liverpool and maybe questioning them. Great, is it the last time that we'll see this team start to do something? Hopefully not. Hopefully Liverpool can kick off for you by then. You can do something. Hopefully trophies are coming this season. Hopefully.
Well, I hope so, because last season was a dismal display. Although we still finished third in the league, like, it was poor. But then it's down to injury and stuff like that. Like,
That's still a good finish though. Can't keep about the injuries you had, right? The injuries you had to finish third, I think, with that sort of way, like Phillips and Wilson or whatever you like. Jurgen still to pull that off. I think that's still a massive achievement. I feel like with the amount of players that were missing, constantly getting injured, I do feel like that's an achievement. I know you're unhappy with the owners and no spending the cash.
nah, like, you just see everybody else around you like spending money. Like the top four, obviously, we've all got the same four teams here. Like Man United bought Sancho, Varane. Chelsea are buying Lukaku. City are buying Grealish, and then you've got Liverpool in there that are just not doing anything. Like, although they're saying Konate for RB Leipzig, like, I don't know. It needs to be freshened up, in my opinion. It's always going to be boiled down to the owners not backing the club enough. Because I feel like if you give Klopp what he needs, it's going to be like, they'll still have a good season, Liverpool, but it's just worrying to me what's going to happen. But I've at fourth for me first anyway. I've got Man United. As long as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's in charge, you're not going to win anything, in my opinion.
I agree.
Like, you could give him every single penny in the world, and you still won't win anything. Like, get a good manager, and we'll start talking about Man United. But Jadon Sancho into the league now. I'm excited by him. He's obviously had a good time in Germany. Rafael Varane I think that's a better signing than Sancho, to be honest with you. That has automatically pushed him up to like Van Dijk, Ruben Diaz level quality centre half in the Prem now. But I just don't see it happening for Man United, in my opinion, this season. Fourth position for them.
Fourth? I don't know where United fourth. Listen, watch Patrick do Varane on the opening day of the season, all right? Watch him put the ball through, put it in the net. I'm praying.
Well, I don't even know if he's actually officially signed him yet.
No, he is. He'll be playing that game.
Really?
They're starting him and Sancho, I think, for the first game of the season, want to blow the fans away. I agree with you. I think the time for Man United to win trophies is... It looked like it was going to happen with that Europa League final. It should have happened with that Europa League final, but because Solskjaer is there for me, I agree. I can't see them winning the league. I know they've spent the cash on these big players, as you say, experienced player and Varane, and then the excitement of somebody like Jadon Sancho, who's been sensational in Dortmund. But I just think they'll finish third. Mate, I don't think they'll finish fourth. I've got your lot finishing there, as I say. But no, I don't think they'll win trophies with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there. I know they've just signed the extension with him, have they not? So he's in for the long haul anyway. But I don't know. I don't see them winning, especially with Chelsea getting Lukaku and City with the team they have. I don't know, man. I can't see them winning the league this season.
No, I just don't know. I can't see it with Man United, especially when them bottling that Europa League last season as well. With Villarreal, obviously you're looking at it like Man United on paper are miles better than Villarreal, but just got the better.
Villarreal had a good evening, a good guy there in the. He's like so experienced in that tournament. See if he's in it again, he'll win it again. But that's how good that guy is when it comes to that competition. But I just honestly, mate, I don't know if Solskjaer can win trophies. It's weird to say that when he's got a team, as you say, Rashford, you've got Fernandes, you've got Cavani, you've got Pogba, and you're still going, nah, they're not going to win the league because that guy in the touchline. Who knows, man? But I do think they'll finish in the top three anyway this season.
So have you got them at third?
I said that.
Third. Well, my third position then is Liverpool. Just annoys me, the Liverpool situation at the moment. Believe it or not, Loris Karius is still a Liverpool player as well. He's back for his loan. Andy Robertson got injured yesterday. Started the injuries already this season. He's got ankle ligament damage or something like that, so he's out for a while. Van Dijk's back, but so that's big. Konate will be interesting to see what he can do in a Liverpool shirt. Joe Gomez back for injury. And then you've got Thiago's second season. Minamino's had a good pre-season. So it'll be interesting with him as well. Harvey Elliott's had a really good pre-season as well. Will he get his opportunity in the first team? It'll be interesting to see with him. Mane, Salah, Firmino are still the front three. We speak about it every season. One of them will leave this season, but since the three have been together, not one of them has ever really looked like leaving ever. So could it be the last time we see that together? I don't know. Diogo Jota's obviously knocking on the door for a start in there as well, but it's just the fact that they're not wanting to go out and buy a striker, but they're wanting to convert Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to a striker. That's what the kind of thing that annoys me with Liverpool. Like, Oxlade-Chamberlain's injury prone, probably more than anybody in the full squad, and you want to put that responsibility on him to be the second striker behind Roberto Firmino, who again isn't really an out-and-out striker. Just frustrates me. We've not replaced Wijnaldum. He's going to be playing in the best team probably this season with PSG, with all the stuff that's going on there and who they've signed. For me, one of the top 10 midfielders in the world we've just let go for free and not replace them. So that annoys me to an extent. But I still feel, even with the annoyance for the Liverpool fans and stuff like that, they'll still have a good season. Could win the league. Well, any of the 4 teams in the top 4 could win the league, but I just don't see Liverpool. Like, they had the best team in the league at a point a couple of seasons ago, but it was just all the other teams have jumped above them. In my opinion, I've got them at third.
You've got them at third. My thing with Liverpool and all is when you're saying about Harvey Elliott, that's the thing I'm noticing. City obviously with Phil Foden, United now with Sancho. It seems like they've got all the top 4 teams have got to have sort of like a young, promising English player in there. That's just a thing I'm noticing. Obviously, get Mason Mount as well, but just something I'm noticing. So maybe a good thing there. I could understand why. I do feel they need a striker. I do feel like they need an out-and-out goal scorer. I mean, you could have took somebody like Luis Suarez, but I don't know if he would come now. He would obviously, but I think there's so many players in this league. Even if you're looking at a decent wee striker that Liverpool could maybe go in for. You'll not get my boy Patrick, and you'll not get my boy Rafinha. So,
well, the only rumour I've seen with Liverpool signing MD is Jared Bowen for West Ham, and even then I was looking at it, I'm like, really? Jared Bowen? Don't get me wrong, guy's a decent player for the league, but
he's not. Come on, he's not Champions League.
It's not that sort of level for me.
I think so. I think they really. You've got to look at maybe somebody that fits that style and goes into it. It's perfect for it. I don't even know MD really off the top of my head would be good for Liverpool, but I know you were all hoping for Kylian Mbappe. It might happen now, mate. It might happen now. You never know.
PSG are going to be up to their fucking knees in debt soon, probably. So,
maybe. But anyway, back to the league and what we on now. What we on second?
Aye.
I've gone for Chelsea, mate. I think Chelsea will finish second this season. I think they seem to have Man City's number, so it might be a bit for me to say they'll finish second. I do honestly fancy them to win the league, but I'm going to say second now. But I do think Lukaku will get the top goal scorer. I think what a striker.
When he comes into the club,
I just watched highlights on him again last night, man, and he just knows his position so well. Remember him with that video with Jamie Carragher? And he's like, that turn and all that, like, you're done. And just what a real forward. I mean, that's something Liverpool could have probably used, to be honest. But no, I really fancy Chelsea to finish second. Maybe strong again in Europe, who knows? But I've gone for Chelsea second, and obviously you know who's.
I've got the exact same placement as well. I've got Chelsea at second. I've got Man City at first. Obviously, Chelsea pipped them to the Champions League last year, and as soon as Thomas Tuchel came in, Chelsea just looked a force. And what they needed to add to that was goals and an out-and-out striker. Timo Werner's not worked out. He'll still be around there, I would like to hope, this season, because I would like to see him kick on and maybe become the player that we all know he is. But Lukaku, you can't look past that signing of him. He's going to be exactly what they need up front. Mason Mount in there as well. They've just got a really good team, Chelsea. and they've got the perfect manager to then take them forward. They've already got a Champions League under their belt, so it'll be nice to see what Tuchel could do. And I feel that they're the strongest sort of opponents for City this season. So I'm looking forward to Chelsea, to be honest, watching them. I enjoyed watching them under Tuchel at the end of last season as well.
I know. I think they're obviously a real good side. Also, when you say Timo Werner, I was just thought back to that miss against Leeds. It was a tap in and he hit it off the bar. Still don't know how he missed that. But no, Chelsea are a really, I think they're a dangerous proposition, especially with somebody like Lukaku coming in. And they did seem to have Man City's number out and out sort of kind of forward there. So with somebody like Lukaku coming in, they could potentially win the league. I do think they'll be up there anyway. I do believe it's between these two. With City, I mean, what can you really say about City? To be honest, we've got Jack Grealish comes in. They've got Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne. What a team they've got, man. It's still a really good side. But who knows with them? I honestly can't. You can't even think anything to say about Man City now. It's like it's Man City. Like, and if they see Harry Kane, man, the league's done, man. The league's done.
Yeah, all they need's a striker, and if they get the best fucking one on the planet, then they'll be all right.
But they don't, Jack, because they don't have Lukaku. I think Lukaku's the best forward, mate. I don't
think so.
I think he is. I just really do think he's the best. For me, he's the best striker. Obviously second to Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, of course.
I think Harry Kane's up there, of course, but I just think Lukaku is, man. I honestly the best forward. In terms of getting you goals, like obviously the two of them will do it, but I don't know. I really like Lukaku more. But City, man, just you
can't look past them. To be honest, like that, with the addition of Grealish in there as well, they were so strong last year. They missed out in the Champions League, as we said, but I just feel like they're going to retain the title again. Like, I just don't think they can get close to him. If you get a striker, it's done, as you say. It'll be done. But because Aguero's a big guy to replace, they need the right player in there to fill his boots. But even without that, City, for me, just play some of the best football in the league. They're a great team to watch. De Bruyne, that guy with stuff like that guy can do is unbelievable. Sterling obviously had good form in the Euros. We'll take that into this season because he underperformed last year. Grealish, as we said. I think Ferran Torres is going to have a big year with City as well. Ruben Diaz, obviously, they've showed up their defence and stuff like that. But I can't look back. Man City, they're the champions for me.
No, you can't look past him not winning that again, man. I think somebody like Gabriel Jesus I just think he gets a bit too much criticism. I don't know. No one's going to fill Sergio Aguero's boots and what he meant to that football club and what he was for that club. Like, no one's going to do that. I think Jesus is still a fantastic young forward. Maybe going to the Italian league or something like that would be good for him and stepping out, you know what I mean, on his own and showing that he is a good striker. Who knows? As I say, I remember him saying it the end of last season, sort of Pep, like they're not going to replace Aguero. They're just going to sort of play with maybe a Sterling, Grealish, and Torres, or who knows. You're like, that's how good they are. They don't really need a striker to hang with it. I know they have academy players sort of playing in that Community Shield, sort of test them out. I still can't believe that they made 60 million on selling academy players like Pep wants to say they did. The Man City, you've got all the money in the world and you've just went, we're going to buy him for 100 million and what about it? Like, just be the heel, please. Can you just be the heel with all the money? That would be so much more beneficial for you, to be honest with you. But I still think they're just what a team to watch, man. And I'm looking forward to the games against Leeds again because we do give them a right good go at it. I think John Stones is John Stones not just signed like a
he signed a 5-year contract, 250 grand a week at City. So
I'm happy for him. Listen,
he's turned a lot of people.
The amount of stick that he gets and all. Oh, he's a 50 million, signing and all this and that. But football now, that means nothing. To be honest with you, in regards to football money and all this, now, it means nothing. I've always rated him. I always thought he was a great centre half in terms of passing. Obviously, he has a mistake in him, but when you're playing that kind of style that they play and everything like that, you're going to make mistakes, man. It's the same with us. Like that, the wee small details that end up costing you, man. When you that one off pass or something, it can cost you the game. So, with him, man. It's just run away with it again.
Well, I'm excited for it. Obviously, Saturday, Premier League Friday. Sorry, I forgot Friday night games. Brentford Arsenal. That'll be a good game to watch. So I'll be at the Rangers game, but so
absolutely,
I won't be able to watch that one. But that's our English Premier League predictions. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You could not play or criticise us at the end of the season for what we get wrong. But hopefully you enjoyed this one. Listen, it's a bit different for the Rangers content, of course, but that'll be back tomorrow with the Rangers review, everything that's happened in the past week. So
maybe tomorrow for the people that are watching this, will it?
It wouldn't be tomorrow. It won't be tomorrow. I know that's the thing with recording videos in advance. This one will be out on Thursday. The Rangers one will be already out. So hopefully you enjoyed that podcast where we talked about Rangers. But for now, that is all. And I'm excited for the Premier League to kick off on Friday. We'll see you later.